Good evening, good morning, I'm Nello Rivieccio, here for a demonstration of Zbrush working for the World Model Expo 2025 in Versailles, Paris. Glad to be here and honored to be here, so let's start to see some of my way of working with the 3D digital sculpting. Hope you can enjoy it. Okay, now we go opening a project in Zbrush. See, files are very heavy with the Zbrush, so even to open it up, it's always a few seconds. Sorry, but the computer is not the big one I have home, so I need to. There we go. Okay, this is a Polish winged ostrich I am working on for a project I have. I choose this figure because these figures can represent properly what a work in Zbrush is to be. Because you have all technical parts, like this cuirass, which is, let's say there is nothing artistic in this cuirass, but this cuirass is mostly technique. It's what is called in Zbrush, oh God, not solid work, hard surface, sorry. Hard surface normally is related to technical work like a cuirass, a weapon, and all this kind of stuff. Normally in Zbrush it's very easy to, well, easy is a big word, but it's always easy to work on technical because the program gives you so many tools you can work on, and it's very, very powerful. But what I like most in Zbrush is to work in artistic way. If I go only, to the lower part of the tunic of this hussar, you can see it's a very, very low polygon number. So it's something that I'm always used to do. I work as blocks. I don't work in high definition, never. Working in high definition is always giving you a problem because you need to have the idea of all the sculpting, of all the figures, just at the beginning and at the end of the work, fixing all the detail. I tell you some about this one. You see all the polygon. If I rise up the definition, it's going to be very smooth, very clean, like the final result. But it's not good for me to work. This is a brush that I use for my folds. It's called orb brush. For you, if you are familiar with ZBrush, it's a brush that normally is used to sculpt rock, actually, but it's perfect for me. It's perfect for me because it's absolutely powerful for me to work, to make very, very, quite nervous folds, like I'm used to say, because you have so many brushes, so many. ZBrush is huge. If you open the brushes, you have 100. But at the end, what I'm going to use, also about this interface. The interface is my interface. This is something that I created. It's like my working station, my working lab. Zbrush give you the chance to allow you to customize the interface in your best way. And I put all the things that normally I use most. And also Zbrush has a lot of shortcuts. So it's very simple to get well organized with the computer. But in other hand, Zbrush is very, very, very hard to learn. I know that, and always used to say that working Zbrush is like to learn musical instruments. In the beginning, you cannot play. In the beginning, you cannot do nothing. But when you know how to play a guitar, you can start making your song. And you can play the guitar like, in a very basic way, or in a very super, like rock bands or whatever. And it depends about your skill. But it's very, I know that it's very hard to learn, especially how I learned it, because I'm working Zbrush since 6 years so far. And 6 years ago, everything that helped me was just tutorial on internet, but tutorial on internet was just for a small aspect. So I had to fight all the time to find my way. And at the end, I just developed my way of sculpting. I've just find my way of expression with this new powerful tool. If you see the works in Zbrush, one of the worst, in my opinion, one of the worst things you can do is to be a little bit flat, because this program gives you so many help that you can almost do anything. But if you lay too much on the program, it's going to be a little bit flat. So there are so many things that I do in my way, because what I like most is to have my personal style. And one of the best compliments that people can tell me is that they realize that it's my figure, even if it's with Zbrush or handmade, or well, handmade is also in Zbrush, well, traditional sculpting. And this is my effort, my main efforts. Try to give my imprinting to my figure, avoiding sometimes also to use some very useful stuff in Zbrush, but probably doing by hand so many things that the program can do for you. I like to work with the program, not for the program. So I like to bend Zbrush to me, not in another way. Okay, I would like to show you my start, the mannequin I'm going to use normally. I have so much anatomy I did in the past, but the base anatomy I'm using is the number 3, this one. Okay, this is the start of any project I'm doing. This is a mannequin that I did. It's proportionally pretty close to the mannequin I was used to work when I was a traditional sculptor. If you are familiar with Zbrush, you see that you can move these things by polygroup. Polygroup means that every single tool, let's say every single element of this figure has a color. And with this color, you can move what you like to move. Making a pose in Zbrush is one of the nightmares of working in 3D, because you don't have, Zbrush will never give you the overview of the figure. This is something that is impossible to achieve. I mean, it's something that we have to work with all your life, because When I was a traditional sculptor, I was going to have my figure on the bench, and in one time looking, I knew, the angle, the pose. ZBrush is impossible to have, so because you have just one view. It's 2D view anyway. Even if it's 3D, you see the figures in 2D, two dimension, and making the pose. It's something that it was much easier as a traditional sculptor than not like this. If you would like to pose a mannequin, let's see now how can we do it. We have to work with the mask. Now this portion is in mask. When is in mask means that everything you are going to move is only the part that is not masked. So only the right leg now is possible to move. We have the so-called gizmo. These are your hand with the ZBrush. This guy is the guy that help you to move the things in ZBrush. And it's not so easy sometimes, because this is what you do by hand in traditional. So let's try to give a pose to a relaxed pose to. I have a problem with my pen. I don't know why. It's not moving. Okay, nice doing. Okay, let's do another thing that normally I do when I work. It's placing a base. A base means just a cube that split masked point. How many of you is familiar with ZBrush here? Nobody? Okay, so I cannot be so technical. If I go this home, when you move the gizmo can be moved pressing Alt. It's like to be free. You can move everywhere on the canvas the gizmo. If I don't press Alt on my keyboards, the gizmo is moving the element that is connected to. So if I would like to place the gizmo in the center of the rectangle now, everything I have to do is press this center here, and is in the center. Then if I press Home, it's placing me this rectangle in the middle of everything of the canvas. Okay, now let's move this. This is going to be the base of our figure. Okay, let's see to have a reference here. This is normally what I work when I'm home. Okay, now let's go back to our figure. Now we moved before the right leg. Now let's move the left one. If I would like to reset the gizmo, now is you see it's a little bit offset. Pressing Alt on my keyboard and this one is going to align me the gizmo again, and then I'm moving the gizmo to the part that is going to be the pivot of the movement. Can be here, can be here, and can be here. The three joints of a leg. So let's go here. Okay, and let's move the. Wait a second. Now I'm moving on in this part. going to center where I want my pivot point. Come on. Okay, I need to move this leg a little bit. Also remember that the relaxing pose are normally always the worst to get. When you are with your balance, with one leg only, normally this part is always matching the neck and the head. So it's like to having a line. So I would like to explain you better if I do like this. Okay. On the relaxing pose, you are standing on one leg only. So this part here needs to be, if you, with this pole on the back, you can see better. Because if you relax, you stay just one, the other leg is just on the ground. All the weight is on one leg only. So this one is going to be the full standard if you follow. If you, okay, maybe we can slightly move the figure. Okay. Then you have to move I don't remember the name in English. How is called this in English? But, huh? Yeah. We say bacino in Italian, but bacino is also a little kiss. So this one is no, the opposite, sorry. It's going up here and down on the other side. Then we have now we have to move a little bit the torso. Let's mask in this way with the mask lasso. Then invert the mask and I can move the upper part. Oh, it's not centered. Now it's centered. If I want to have all these small movements are all the time teasing you, achieving the pose in Zbrush. Now you have also to think about if this figure has a rifle, a backpack, if this figure is just relaxing, where the hands are. So normally when I start making a new pose, I always have in mind what kind of figure it is. Because you have to consider if this guy has a backpack, okay, all the balance is different. You cannot say like this, otherwise you fell on the back. So it's now I'm working as this is a naked guy, like a normal sculpting anatomy, but normally if this guy have to be with a balance problem, like a rifle on the back, big sword, lance or whatever, is something that you have always keep in mind when you achieve the pose. Otherwise, it's not balanced, because you will see that sometimes I see so many figures that, you know, the figure is like this, but the balance is everything. Is everything in anatomy, is everything in sculpting, is everything in the balance of the figure. So it's going to be, all is going to be smooth, natural, like have to be. Let's say, okay, we don't need the pole anymore. Let's see if this guy has a backpack on his back. Okay, let's see. Let's pretend that this guy, it's a fantassin, an infanterie. Okay. Okay, now everything is going to change, because this one needs a little bit to be bended forward. Okay, let's do like this. We mask again the upper part. Invert the mask. Okay, we try to center the gizmo to move the figure. We need to place the figure a little bit like this, forward. No, that's too much. Because every time I have to switch the angle where to see. Now it's looking too down, so we need to raise the head. We give him a more interesting angle of the head to must be like this. Okay. And then let's see the arm. Maybe being some infantry can be on the rifle. Let's see. This one needs to be. Oh. This leg needs to be a little bit down here. You see how many view I need to see if the figure is balanced. So this is what I was telling you before. You don't have the overview of the figure with just one look. You have to see the figures from a different angle to see if you are making some something wrong. Okay, seems to be okay. Now let's move one arm. One of the pivot point is here. Maybe you can let me see what kind of pose. No, let's do like this. Let's move. Let's move this one. we raise the shoulder of the figure. When you raise the shoulder, when you place a rising arm, you see that the shoulder is moving a lot. Think about the distance from your here, yeah, to your shoulder. Okay? It's like this. It's about 12, 13 centimeters. Everybody's different. So my neck is short, your neck is long. So, but think about your proportion. Okay? So let's say if I am relaxed from my shoulder to my ear, it's something like this. If I raise my arm, this difference is like this. I'm touching actually. So when I see so many figures with the raised arm, but the shoulder is here, impossible. The shoulder go inside, because this part is going inside. The human body is almost perfect, and it's going up. You see how much. So when you raise a shoulder, you have to go way up to get a nice pose. Otherwise, don't worry, if there is a space, it's impossible. I'm going to connect later on. I show you. I think that we have time. I will show you how to make the proper anatomy. Okay. Now I'm going faster than normally I'm used to do because timing is running out. But I will try to give you an overview of how to get an anatomy.
You're always working at the same time with the keyboard and the pencil?
Absolutely. The keyboard is something that you cannot avoid to work with. Now you see me, because if I press Alt, okay, like this, I'm moving the figure on the canvas. If I leave the Alt, I'm zooming. So ZBrush, I don't think anymore about these things. Now for me it's natural. But the Control, Alt, and Shift, plus also the other, keys on the keyboard, are mandatory. It's something that you have to work. You work always with two hands, because this one gives the command to the pen and to the program. Control, open you see up here on the left, here, the mask. All this function. One is the mask. One is mask circle. If you need to mask something, select. Select is going to be, okay. Select is going to be Control Shift. In red, I'm going to select only the part of a figure, and is going to deselect the other part, which is behind, see? So navigation in ZBrush, as I told you, is always it's almost a nightmare. Let's say that I have two friends that I'm following now, that they were traditional sculptors, and now they pass on the dark side of the force with the 3D sculpting. And they say that normally you need, but I agree with, to start to enjoy, to do something, you need 3 months. In the beginning is a little bit frustrating, but you cannot give up, because you came to sometime to a point where you, in the learning procedure, in the learning process. Sometimes you feel stuck. Oh, I would like to do this. How can I do it? But ZBrush has so many ways to get there that you can find yours. Think about that we are using ZBrush. I'm used to say a joke. We use a Ferrari to go to the grocery store. Because ZBrush is used since 2002, 2003 in all the movie and CGI in Hollywood, all video game, everything that is related to sculpting has a ZBrush on the back. And also for artists purpose, like sculpting, like we do, like anything. But there are so many powerful tools in ZBrush that are not useful for us. So we are using a super cannon to shut down a mosquito. So we need to set the cannon on our goal. But when you have it, see. ZBrush, no, I'm asking in English, it's okay? I'm answering in English. ZBrush is born with the company called Pixologic, which 2 years ago sold the program to a new company called Maxon, Maxxon, Maxon. Maxon now is developing a new version. My version is still the Pixologic version because it's a 2002. Because for me, I bought this program, and when I bought it was almost the full license I had was 800 euros. But now they don't work anymore like this. Now it's like Photoshop. You pay monthly, yearly, but it's not so expensive. I think per 1 year it is around 250, 240. Last time I checked on Maxon.
Il existe différentes versions de ZBrush, des versions plus légères et moins chères.
You see, we have also one light.
Il y a ZBrush Core.
See, Core. In Core you can sculpt. Of course I need this one, but if you like to have an approach to ZBrush, there is the ZBrush Core, which is very cheap. It's not so expensive. You don't have all the function, but you can start learning the program. If you like it, you can go for the big one. No, pardon. Okay? And the company now is called Maxon. Now let's see how, no. I don't like this arm like this now, but let's place the arm. Let's see how can, maybe our friends here is having on the belt. You see, I work always on the keyboards. Maybe this can be a pouch, the rifle pouch belt. So we have something here. Maybe another one on the other side. I have no voice this morning, you guys. I'm sorry. Normally, I talk too much. So this is what happened when you talk too much. Maybe this is not probably a perfect pose, because what I don't like here is no. Normally you lay a little bit on the rifle. If there is a rifle, where he have his arm on it? Let's do. Okay, let's see if we can. Oui.
Voilà, vous passez beaucoup de temps pour la posture. Combien de temps avez-vous passé?
En anglais. C'est-
Là, ça fait beaucoup de temps.
You begin this one before two models, but how much time did you spend to do
For the pose?
the pose on for the government horseman?
For la?
For the horseman you show us before the
Which one? The
Hussar.
the Hussar.
Yes.
The Hussar you saw before. Normally, every figure has his own time. I can say I have the Hussar. Normally, the French Hussar of the Premier Empire. It takes a lot of time because you have a lot of things to do, laces. Normally, in Zbrush, I can finish a simple figure. Simple figures, not so complicated as uniform, in 3 days, 4 days. Depends. Sometimes longer. It depends if I am okay. I like to do it, or maybe I lazy. I don't know. But normally, ZBrush is very, very, very fast. You think about if I would like to look at the computer, if I would like to duplicate this item. Okay, I have this item here. Now let's pretend that this item is a rifle, or is a bottle, whatever. Okay. Normally, in traditional sculpting, if I needed 4, 5, 6 of this, I have to do resin, mold. I have to make the casting and reproduce it by myself. All the pieces I need. In ZBrush, everything I have to do is press Control on the keyboard, and do like this. And I have 2. So that's why ZBrush is very helpful. That's why, because also, if you need something, let's say, I would like to have this guy here duplicated in a perfect way, okay? Control, I move the first one here, I leave the task control, and then, see? This is something that in traditional will take about 3 days only to do this. ZBrush, it's 1 second. That's why it's easy to work with ZBrush. It's not everything. It's you need to know how to sculpt, but it's helping you a lot. It's helping you a lot. Okay, let's make Dynamesh here. I would like to give a rifle proportion to this. Mask. Let's pretend this is a rifle. It's just a block of a rifle. Normally, I always work with this kind of elements that I'm, of course, going to replace later on with a real rifle or what I need, just to see how the figures and how the balance of the figure is working. So maybe this can be the rifle that is on with the arm. It's not important for me. I need just to see how in the end the figure is going to be. Now, let's move the figure in the orientation I like. I don't like this arm. I'm going to move, not with the gizmo anymore, but with this tool that is moving only this part, but is not so. I'm used to this move brush is moving, you see, but it's deformating. So I don't use it so much, just for little movement. See, it's a. Now, I'm not happy at all with this pose, but now it's fine. I'm going to duplicate one click. Now I have two here on the right. I leave this one here, and I'm going to work only on this one. And I go Dynamesh. Dynamesh is one of the powerful tools because it's going to repower the figure in the definition that you like. Now the figure, it's not Dynamesh. You can see all the polygons that actually are this little one. When I go Dynamesh, just mask whatever you want on the canvas, and also here, down here, Dynamesh. Now I have all glued together. I have one figure. And also if I raise the resolution of the Dynamesh, this is going to be, see, very, very higher. And I don't like to work like this because it's too heavy now. I need like this. Now Control W, it's just one color. I don't need the polygroups anymore, you know, all the different color. And this is the base where I'm going to work on as base anatomy. There is this brush that is very popular among the artists in Zbrush, 3D artists. It's called clay build up, clay like a clay, and it's going to add, as you see, this kind of see, you can add quantity to the figure. Now, of course, it's exaggerated. Clay build up, yes. A little bit less intensity. No. Less. And now you start building what is the anatomy. Doing the arm, shoulder, filling the gap of the mannequin. With Dynamesh again, not too much, too eager. Okay. When you press Shift, there is this one is called smooth, and you can smooth the surface. So if it's too much, you see, you can smooth. Now, if I press Alt on my keyboard, you see, it's in negative. If I don't press Alt on my keyboard, it's building up. If I press Alt, it's digging, is taking out. So with just one brush, you have to function. And now let's talk about what I told you before, the arm. Now I'm going to connect it now here. I like it here, let me. And, you know, with all these mold strokes, all these, you are going to build the figure that in the end is going to be the base of everything you have to do. Absolutely the first step in the sculpting. And the way is too long to explain now. So now I would like to, we have 1 hour, so we are almost done, but now I would like to show you some new project that maybe can be interesting, something that I'm actually did for also Pegaso. Can we show some Pegaso? Enzo Favaro from Pegaso Model. No, let's see what you don't know. Okay, Tenochtitlan, it's a vignette that I actually presented here, but I would like to show you. This is a project that I'm working for a British company, and it's the Battle of Marengo. It's called the Eve of Marengo, which is going to be ready by the end of the year, I think October. And it's a very ambitious project. This is the blockout. There is an house in Italy somewhere. This guy here is Napoleon at the table. And I have, I just, out of my imagination, set a rendezvous of Napoleon. Napoleon is here. This guy here is Bessirier. Rustan, all his stuff in Italy, in a house just few days before the Battle of Marengo. So we have a lot of personality, a lot of character, like Napoleon himself. I'll show you someone. This is Bessiré. Bessiré is terminated, is done. I have only to cut the figure for the printing, resin printing. Bessiré is the only one, is the one that you can see here on the horse. Now, it's quite a very heavy file, Bessiré, because it's very complicated, so it'll take times. I'll show you 2-3 guys from this vignette, and this vignette nobody saw right now, so... Okay. No problem at all, don't worry. Sorry it takes time because bigger is the file, longer is the time that needs to be. Now it's me, ciao. I don't know, probably was better Zbrush with the file than me. Let's see. Why Bessiré? There were other more light in file. Come on. Bessiré was the commander of the cavalry at Marengo. He had a very dashing uniform. He also is very, probably as you know him, is one of the men of the Ancien Regime. He was used to have white hair. We don't know if I will show something, but it's going to take a lot of time. I don't know now. I don't know if he's stocked or not. Oh, come on. Probably I picked up the wrong file because Bessiré is a very heavy file. Zbrush already gave you the possibility to there is a plugin, now is a stock, I cannot show you, but when the figure is done, normally a file is nice. Thank you for the question because this is the passage from 3D to the Word. So Zbrush gives you the opportunity to move the file in OBJ and STL. So you have a bridge from Zbrush to 3D Print Hub. In the 3D Print Hub, it's a plugin of Zbrush. It's very easy to use. It's going to convert the Zbrush file in all STL file for every single tool you have with the figure. So he's doing everything by himself, by itself. Before doing this, there is another thing that is a mandatory because the file, as you can see, is a stock now. So I'm going to close the program and start over again because it's very heavy. Oh no, here we go. We have Bessiré. So this is Bessiré. Let's place him in the middle. So this is what you saw, because it's impossible to print a vignette, to work the complete vignette in one session. Because the file is going to be so huge that you cannot move anything more. So you have the vignette, you have the idea, you have the mannequin, all in low resolution. Then you make a new project, Bessiré, Napoleon, another one. Then you see the result only at the end, because the files are so heavy that you cannot match together. Not even my other computer that I have home, that is is a power machine, cannot handle this. It's going to be 150, 200 million of polygon. It's a number so huge that any processor is going to crack. So it's impossible to go on. About your question, I was telling you, before you go to STL, you have a tool that you need to do, also because the files are heavy, and it's called Decimation Master. So you decimate the file itself. So if the file is normally My foot figures normally is around 20 million polygon. With the decimation is going to be 3.5, 20%, 4 million. And it's quite heavy anyway, but ZBrush with decimation is arranging you the file, taking out where it is not necessary. But you cannot work anymore. It's just for printing. But you can make several, you can save several files. One is for working, one is for printing, so you go on. So this is La Salle, as we know, this one here, this mannequin here. And now let's open Bonaparte himself. Now, because you have to think about the vignette as a composition, as I told you, a figure by figure, but also there is the interaction of the figure. So, okay, Napoleon is going to be sculpted by himself, but I know that Napoleon here is talking with Lan at the table. So, and this is Napoleon. No, I don't need you, guy. Looks like. Okay. And this is Napoleon at the table.
When you are building up the figure, the distance between them might change. How do you control that? There's no conflict at the end when you put them.
I'm checking all the possible items that are going to cross each other. So if I know that this table is something that Napoleon has in common with other figure, I move the table in the space from Napoleon to Lan. So the table is the connection, and I know how to fix the figure by this common point. Because it's impossible to sculpt like you sculpt a normal vignette. It's impossible. So this is something that you do by yourself. Okay, I would like to show you probably the one that I like in this vignette. And this guy here, this is Rustan. See, here we have another intersection. Rustan is holding the horse of Besseret. Okay, so I didn't sculpt Rustan and Besseret in the same tool, in the same environment. Rustan is by himself and Besseret is by himself. So I moved the head of the horse that they have in common with Besseret and Rustan, and I'll show you. It's like a key point you have. Rustan, where are you, Rustan? You are here. You know Rustan is the garde du corps de Napoleon. Rustan was Armenian. Here. You have him in a Mameluke dress. It was very nice to sculpt with all this. He had a very round face. I tried to get his resemblance from the painting. And with this hand that you see here, he's holding the horse head of Besseret. So I know that this hand is going to be. Maybe I have the horse head here? No. Yes, here. As you can see, this part, is cutted. It's just because I need to know in the space where Rustan is going to be with the horse. So I have him holding the horse, and I know that at the end they will match. Okay? So what do you think about Rustan? You like it or not? What else we have? Oh, come on. I have Lauriston, that is another one. Lan is not done yet. Because that's why I told you, because I have to finish, because I didn't La sala is not there, la agenda, la noche. This is something that, okay. This is something that I was supposed to finish for the Mondial, 26 figure, impossible, because I had so many things to do. But I will show you. Maybe one day you will see, also painted, not even sculpted. This is a big project that I didn't finish because I was really busy. But it's something that is going to be made one day, for sure. And it's a very powerful project. It's a fighting between the conquistadors and the Aztec. It's called La Noche Triste. Is one the Cortez and these men escaped from Tenochtitlan, the capital, and tried to escape on the causeway. Tenochtitlan, Mexico City. Now everything is dry, but Tenochtitlan was like Venice. They had the city was in the middle of a lake, and they had this causeway on the water. So the Spanish were trying to run away because they realized that the population was not listening anymore, Montezuma, and an uprising was going to be. So the Spanish one night, that's why it's called La Noche Triste, tried to escape with the gold and everything that they stolen. Nothing against the Spanish and conquistadors, it's just what the history was. And the Aztecs saw them, and they tried to close them with these roads on the water, and trying to close them inside the city without giving them the possibility to escape. And it's called La Noche Triste because is the battle, it was a fight more than a battle, that the Spanish lost the most number in any other battle against conquistador. And they tried, at the end, Cortez escaped from one way, and the big fight was held at this gate, but it was not a gate, it was a passage, where it's called Alvarado's Gate. Alvarado was one of the captain of Cortez. And at the Alvarado Gate, there was a very fierce combat. Aztecs were coming on canoe from the water, from the causeway. So think about that. This is, and also they have bridges. They try to move the bridges. The Aztecs try to move the bridges, and the Spanish were fighting to keep the bridges, because without the bridges they were gone. So you see people on canoe like this here. This guy is an Aztec. People fighting on the water like those here, and it's a meal. It's a very fierce combat. And one thing, you see this Spanish guy here fighting with a crossbow. That night was raining, so the Spanish were not able to use guns because the powder was wet. So they had to fight with sword, lance, and just crossbow and arc. You see another thing here. You see two locals fighting with the Spanish. These are the Tlaxcala Spanish allied, because the Spanish used a lot of allied. So they were tribes against the Aztec, fighting with the Spanish. We have a lot of dead people. This guy here is this was very hard to do. It's a Spanish passing with the sword an Aztec. And what do we else have here? This other duelist is dying by the sword, because in the end the Spanish made it. This is a dying Spanish. You have dead, you know, here there is a dead horse, another dying one on another one. It's a very dramatic. And this guy here is the Captain Alvarado, that he was on horse. Of course, this is to be. And also, there is a nice subject, I think, in the end. There is a priest, just with the closed eye, praying on the cross, trying to avoid all the combat. You see that it's quite a big one. Now it's very crowded. We have also these two. I know it's cruel, but I try to I will try, because I have to do it. This is just the first part of the vignette. I try to express in the best way what a melee was. That was a nightmare, was a hell on earth. So this is something that I hope is going to be on a show somewhere, but I think that I'm going to finish it in, let's say, next year. Okay, guys? I think that, question, please.
From a naive point of view, that all the poses are so complex, do you consult anatomists and specialists?
You know what I have? It's also for, not just for 3D artists. I have a lot of photo. You know, I am lucky because I am very muscular by myself, very tall, so I look myself in the mirror. No, it's it's something that you can find on ArtStation. I buy this kind of stuff. You have reference pictures, and you have I don't have it here because they are very heavy, but I have a collection of. You have female movement. You know, a reference for artists. It doesn't matter. You have 3D, traditional, painter, sculptor. They are traditional. They are a reference made with the photographer. So you have these figures in a different angle. You have the male with axe. Then there is, this is something that you need to know for the movement. And then there is something by yourself, something that you see on a movie, something that you see on another artist, because we steal from everything, which is not a bad thing. We steal from reality, so we steal from everything. So I suggest you to see the reference pictures on ArtStation. I have a lot. They are not so expensive, between 10 to 20 euro. But they give you a lot. Very, very. I don't think that I have it because they are on the other. No, they are on the other hard disk. But they are very huge because they have any kind of pose. You think about that is 500, 600 pictures. I use mostly these pictures when I have to sculpt anatomy, because the human anatomy it's a nightmare. Because this one. Here is compressed and goes here. Here is allongé and is on the other side. So the human body is moving in a way that is almost unpredictable sometimes. And also, we are all different. We have a pattern, okay? I know my one is here and your one is here, but my one can be shorter, longer. Any human being is different from the other. This is what gives us the this gift to be unique among the other. So for the anatomy, when I sculpt anatomy, they have a very sculpted anatomy, you bodybuilders, so you know the intersection, so you know if the arm is like this or is like this, how all the muscles are moving, and this is important for me. And then there is, at the end, my fantasy. So I want, you see before the duelist of the vignette, these are very, very, very hard because the dynamic must be connected to the reality. I don't like, a ninja warrior. It's a fantasy. Nothing against fantasy, but all the movement, and also when you do the movement, you have to think about how this figure is dressed. Because if it has an armature, cannot move like this. So must be very light. Okay, I know this is a light infantry. This is a light soldiers. So what he has? Nothing. Just, a jacket, normal clothes, maybe some metal parts, but not so heavy. So he can move. Oh wait, this one has a cuirass and they have a gamberon. So no, he cannot raise the leg like this. So move according to what he has. Okay? Any other question, guys? Zbrush, no? We done? You happy for me? Thank you so much. Thank you. Merci à tout le monde. Merci à Valérie. Brava, Valérie. Et voilà.